a couple things before we do get started. If you know someone wants to play one of my games, send them my way. I'd love to talk to them. I currently have a wait list to get into a campaign slot, but you can get on that wait list so that when the spot opens up, we can let you know. I also have a couple of one-shots coming up in the next week. So I have one on February 21st, which is with a Story of a Leaf. He's a Twitch streamer here, and that is at noon Central Time on February 21st. Also have a one-shot on the 23rd, which is the Dark Frost playtest for the new Dark Frost Adventure series. Those signups are available over at gmeric.com, so pick those up right away. There's only one ticket left for the Dark Frost thing, and you get your name in the credits when we publish it. We also have the Patreon over at patreon.com/gmeric. We have the GM tip videos and archives over on YouTube. The clip contest is going on in Discord. And we have the reference site over at toivoarpg.com. Lastly, we have the Scales Edition t-shirt, hoodies, and tank tops over at gmeric.com right on the front page. And one of our players today, at least one, is wearing his t-shirt. So, we are going to go ahead and get you guys started because we've got a lot to cover today. And it's a lot of fun to have a good time. So, you guys are adventuring in the lands of Toivoa and have been going around looking for ways to close portals from the Fey realms into the material plane and to regain Twilight Call's claim over the Shintara Grove. To that end, you guys have come down here to Shatter Shaddai. After a long sailing voyage, you finally arrived in town and have started to explore this magnificent city thanks to a individual who greeted you at the docks. You guys have kind of ditched him after visiting a restaurant and have decided to instead take up with one of the members of the ruling council, Rafaj the Mustachioed Wizard. He has invited you to go over to his house, and at noon today, you guys have accepted to do so. Is there anything you would like to do before leaving the market district and going to visit his home?
To be fair, our guide, we didn't ditch our guide. He kind of abandoned, cowered, hid away from us.
True.
Supposed to be going to the temple en route to this dude's house.
Do you guys want to go to the temple first?
Yes.
All right. So we will go ahead and he will give you directions as to where to go to visit his house, but we will go to the Shatter Shaddai Temple of MKL.
He wasn't escorting us there?
He is not interested in going to the temple. No.
But it's probably for the best.
And he gave me the impression last time that he was going to escort us there to help us get in and all sorts of other stuff.
He'll walk you to where it's within sight, but he is not going there. There is no chance. So, you guys can walk through town to the Temple of Imkael. As you guys approach, the austere building stands proud in Shatter Shaddai, surrounded by all sorts of people going in and out. It's a very busy temple today. Are you guys choosing to go inside, or are you going to remain out?
I will be going inside. I'm not sure who else from the rest of the party will be going in.
I will go in.
Okay. Anyone else? No?
No,
Do
I'll
you
stay
want the rest of us to join?
I'm going to stay outside.
Okay.
I'll stay outside with them.
Ayla?
Yeah, I'm staying outside.
Awesome. Cool. So, Covet and Twilight.
You don't want to come to temple?
No, if Dignus would be real thrilled if I went in, so I'll stay outside.
Lauren, this is an opportunity to get some of those questions that you have burning answered.
None of the questions I had burning were particularly related to MKL.
You sure?
They were more related to your conduct.
Ooh.
On the bestest of behaviors.
What'd you say?
He says he's been on the bestest of behaviors.
Lauren just raises an eyebrow.
Covet does too. Pretty much at the same time as is Lauren.
I believe they have pressed X to doubt.
Twilight doesn't pay attention.
Of course.
I'm listening to this,
That's
and
right.
I also kind of go, huh?
Do you want me to join you in the temple?
You are always welcome.
And I will join you.
All right. So, you guys take the first step and lose a level. The second step, another level. Until at the top of the stairs, you are no better than commoners carrying ostentatious magic items. As you approach, you are greeted at the door by a fairly short man dressed in red and white robes. He wears a white mask that seems to be frowning. Welcome. Are you supplicants of our god?
We are servants of MKL.
We are all servants in our own way.
Some more direct than others.
True. What have you come for, child?
Guidance, direction, cleansing, reclamation.
Indeed. Quite a list. How can I help?
We have artifacts that we would like to present to MKL himself.
He watches us all. Please, come inside. And he will usher you guys inside the temple. As you guys cross the white and red marble floors, you go inside and it's a reverent environment. The air is still, but fresh. You look around, people are quietly worshiping and praying at little prayer benches. At the front of the temple, there is a dais with an altar. It is empty. The priest guides you towards one of the praying benches. Do you choose to pray, or should we go into one of the offices?
So Twilight is actually interested in seeking out whoever the high priest or the man in charge is of this particular location.
Okay, you look around. You see a couple of minor monks and other people. You realize this is the guy in charge. He's by far the more ornate priest that you've seen in a long time.
From what we can see around us, is this more closer to the Shadow Shaddai, or is this more of the faith of MKL?
Let's roll your insight check. Or religion, your choice.
Kevin's gonna roll that too.
Yes, ma'am.
21 for me.
Okay, with a 21 and a 22, the man who greeted you is very much of the faith of MKL because the matriarchy is not strong here. You look around, you don't see the guards and armored individuals all over the place that would indicate that this is from the garden soil variety of church.
So we'll do a office conversation with him first, and then we'll do the whole altar dais thing thereafter.
He nods. Come with me, children. And he will walk you guys towards a side room. He holds the door open for you, and inside it is a white and red marble office. He gestures to a plain wooden bench that has been dyed red. Goes to the other side of the desk and sits down. And what can we do for you?
Once Covet makes sure that the door is shut behind Twilight's call and her and Islaren, she takes she stands in front of the desk and she says that we have artifacts of utmost importance. One, I believe that we need to turn into MKL himself for protection. It is not something that anybody needs to have.
Indeed.
The second, she looks at Twilight and she cocks her head just a little bit in question, but potentially having a more in-depth conversation with MKL himself on an artifact that my husband carries.
So you choose to speak to the god themselves.
It's not the first time.
It won't be the last.
We all seek audience. A few receive it. You speak grave words. What would you have done with these items?
The one that I carry, it needs to be guarded, and guarded heavily and well.
We are a temple, not a bank. We have a vault and reliquary, but we have no guards, save for the god himself.
That is why That is why we need to give this to MKL himself. And she pulls out the scroll of Cateus.
He looks at you, and even through the mask, you can see his eyes widen. That is dangerous.
Agreed.
It is anathema to have brought it here.
The only
Why have you brought such an evil thing into the house of our Lord?
to prevent it from being opened.
I understand.
Or if it is open, it will create chaos and vast amounts of potential undeath.
Can it be
And that's
unmade?
not what MKL. It has the essence of Cateus himself.
I see. So you would have us place this within our reliquary?
I believe that it would be the safest place.
I'm not certain of that. But we will abide by those who are faithful. He nods at the mask that you carry. For you know more than I the safety of our God, as you are a true faithful, or would not travel with such an item.
It was given to me by MKL himself.
Indeed.
The mask was.
He bows a little bit, which is strange, but not out of the ordinary. You kind of expect it. He's showing deference to your situation in spite of being everyone equal in death.
This is not something that I take lightly, this scroll, and it should not be on my person, particularly of my travels.
Very well. If you will give it to me, I will ensure that it is placed within the deepest part of the temple's basement, locked away and unheard.
She hands it over to the priest.
He opens a box because he doesn't want to handle it.
She places inside the box.
He closes the box. Would you come with me to see where we place it? Or do you prefer that knowledge remain absent from your mind?
I will go with him.
Okay. Will the other two of you come with him, or are you guys going to stay away?
We'll stay right here.
Okay. Priest is going to go out of the office into the main hall, and then go back behind the altar with you, which gets a few looks, because, frankly, the priests don't usually go into the back with beautiful women, right? Especially looking as, frankly, demonic as you do.
That being said, she goes against her better judgment and places her mask on her face.
Good. That will alleviate some of the concerns. As you go behind the altar, you are now backstage, and he will guide you to a series of steps, lift several cellar doors that he descends through, until you've gone down 4 stories into the rock beneath the temple, where he goes past burial chambers, various holy relics that have been stored here for hundreds of years, and to a very basic closet that has a lock on it. He produces a key and will unlock it and open it. Inside, there are several canopic jars and a spot that this box will fit in. He places the box on the shelf, nods at you. Will this suffice?
It will. I will definitely still want to speak to MKL himself, if possible, letting him know what we have done.
we may entreaty the god
Fair.
within the cathedral itself. Let us return. And he will lock the cabinet, close the doors, lock the cabinet, go out the catacombs, close all the cellar doors, locking all of them on the way out. And you can tell he's being quite fastidious about this and making sure everything is done right. Because he's a little scared of what we put down there.
So is Covet, but she's trying not to show it.
Well, it's easy not to show it with the masks on.
Yep. But she moves a little bit faster.
Cool. He will walk you back to the office to your husband and your friend, who have been left in a church office, which, yeah, it's a little weird. The uncomfortable silence is Slarin and Twilight. What do you guys do for the 5-10 minutes that they're gone?
It truly is the uncomfortable silence that is not uncomfortable to Twilight. He doesn't recognize it.
Understood.
Soren doesn't feel uncomfortable in the silence either.
Okay. Cool.
Just looking around, just kind of, just like looking to see like what is it like in this temple?
It's
her impressions of it.
very basic. There's not a lot of gaudy decorations on the inside of the temple. Everything seems to be external. In here, it's just very, very straightforward. Straight edges, white and red, red and white, everywhere. It's almost like you're feeling exposed. You're the ones who stand out in this place, not the temple itself. It calls you out in a way like an infection in a body. The white being the bones, and the red, the blood. Living things here don't make sense. And yet you're here.
Over here.
You'll hear a knock at the door, and the priest and Covet will re-enter the door, coming into the office.
When Covet comes back in, she takes the mask off.
He does not. So, it's time for your supplication, and may Imkael listen to your entreaties. Are you ready to pray?
We are.
Then let us return to the Grand Hall. And he will stand up and go open the door to lead you guys out for prayer.
I put on my mask again.
Okay.
Because she remembers how it freaked people out, her not wearing one.
Yep.
But I'm just going to keep it on only in here.
It's like wearing a cross at church. So, you guys
Totally fair.
you guys go out into the main hall. He will guide you to the front row there, where there's kneeling benches. And he will kneel and gesture for you guys to do the same. This is standard practice. The priests of Imkael are not better than the people who come in. They're not better than the worshippers. They don't stand up on the dais and proselytize or teach. They come down and are among the people.
So, is there a dais or an altar or something that we're in front of?
Yes.
Twilight will pull out his bow and the 5 arrows of slaying that he got from the Bog Witch.
Okay.
And will lay them upon the altar.
You're going to go up on the dais and put them on the altar.
Yes.
All right. As you do so, you hear hushed whispers from everyone in the cathedral other than your 2 friends. This is not something that is regularly done. So you put them on there, and then what?
So I am trying to use this as a offering, but it's also a cleansing and a reclaiming for the purposes to enact MKO's will. I'm not sure if I would use divination for that or not, or if this would just be a straight up prayer.
Do you have the spell divination?
I do from the Whispers of Twilight.
All right. Let me pull it up. Let's take a look here. Just want to get this right. All right. So, cool. You would need to use divination to do this. Do you choose to do so?
Yes.
All right. So, as your magic and your offering puts you in contact with MKL himself, you can ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days, and I will answer truthfully.
So I think there's a misunderstanding there, because what I'm wanting to do is to have a true cleansing, reclaiming of these artifacts, not seeking information.
Okay, so you just want the god to be like, hey, these are good now?
Essentially.
That's not something they do. You brought relics from a different god into the Temple of MKL. You want MKL to just say, these are mine now? That's not going to happen.
So this would be a follow-up of what happened on the boat.
Right. MKL's not going to be able to convert these into weapons of MKL. These are holy
the
relics.
removing of influence of the other guy.
You can't. They are literally part of the other guy. You're asking these things to be transmogrified or something. This isn't
Or
just
bathed
put it
in
on there.
holy water.
Yeah, it's not World of Warcraft. We put things on the altar and things change. I mean, the request to have the items changed into good things. That's not the purview here. You've got relics of a god and relics of a dead celestial, and you brought them from a different temple and a different god, brought them into this temple and are asking this god to change them? No, that's not going to happen. I'm trying to figure out exactly what you're wanting. You just want these sanctified for MKL?
He's jugged up and foggy, so give him a second to figure
Sure.
out what he wants to say and clarification.
Yep.
We're having a hard time hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Much better.
So Twilight's thought process is it's no longer in the possession of the other god. It's removing of that influence. I guess then he would be seeking guidance or direction of that desired end state and justifies the means, all of that type of stuff.
Okay. So you're looking for, is it okay to use these items as they are?
And if not, how to go about rectifying that situation.
Oh, okay. So that would be a question to ask the gods. And
I don't even know how to begin to word that one right now, especially in my current mental capacity.
I understand. Are you cool with me trying to do this for you?
Yes.
All right. So, based off of this, and you tell me if I get this wrong, okay? And we can always correct it.
And this is very much a follow-up from that initial on the boat without the use of divination.
Right. So, now that you are in the Temple of Imkale, with the bow and arrows up on the altar, the arrows of slaying are just arrows of slaying and are not tied to Cateus in any way.
They were labeled as tipped with the fingernails of Cateus.
Yeah, that's just decorative. But
Okay.
the
Cool. I will remove that piece to it then.
okay. The hollow star rib, though. As you cast divination and you entreaty MKL, should I use this in furtherance of your will? Does this meet with your approval? And are we good? I do not wish to violate your tenets. I wish to further the faith and not deviate from it. This is a great tool, and I either need to know how to use it or what to do with it. Is that good phrasing?
Yep.
Okay. So as you stand there at the altar, your perspective will dim. Everything around you begins to go dark. And it's only you and the altar. You can't see Covet. You can't see Aslarin. You can't even see the ground you're standing on. The rest of you can see him, no problem. However, Twilight's perspective has isolated, like a mask, a stencil of reality just around you, the altar, and the bow. As you stand here, an enormous porcelain mask swings slowly from above into your perspective, gazing at you eye to eye. No one else sees this. As this vision of the porcelain mask descends, the empty eye sockets lock eyes with yours. Child, this is dangerous. The rib of a friend, corrupted and brought here. I see you seek to redeem it. In order to do so is far beyond anything that we can do. Cateus's taint is strong, and as such, we cannot simply appropriate and sanctify this. It must be used in the furtherance of his defeat. To that end, I accept your willingness to serve. I accept your worship. And I admonish you to be careful with such a weapon. Let it not lead you to wrath. Let it not cause you to kill unnecessarily, but to lead those whose true time has approached to a meeting with me. It is a weapon, and weapons can be used by both good or ill. It is the intention of the heart that matters. Only this imbalances us all. Who we are is not our being or our possessions. It is what we do. You have chosen to come to me to request guidance. Trust your heart, Twilight's Call. Trust your heart and do what is right. The bow is yours. Whether you choose to take its temptation upon you to overcome it and use it for good, or to submit and be corrupted to all loss. This will be painted upon your mask on your death. Choose well, Twilight's Call. And the large porcelain mask is going to back up away from you into the darkness, which will then fade, leaving you back in the temple.
I will stand up, grab hold of his items, and put them back in his quiver.
Okay. Covet and Islarin, you just saw him go up there, stand there for a few moments, and then pick up the bow and come back down.
First off, Covet looks at Islarin and says, "This is totally normal. What happens between the gods and their servants is between them. It is not for us to know, not unless they are willing to share it with us."
Or nods without saying anything.
The priest
And-
is currently prostrated in front of the prayer bench because he felt the presence of the god in the room.
She looks at Twilight and asks, "Did you receive the answer you were looking for, or?"
I received enough. One never gets everything that they're looking for.
She looks at the bow specifically. if you're willing to share, what did he say?
Cleansing the corruption of the originator is beyond my means. But as long as my purpose and intent remain true, I should be fine.
Sounds pretty accurate. Are you happy with that?
I'm disappointed. Okay, maybe I'm a little disappointed, but we're not going to get into that.
Covet just shakes her head just a little bit and says, as long as your heart remains true and you do as you still follow the teachings, then you are not out of line.
He did say this is dangerous and to be careful, but it wasn't a no.
So are you saying that you want us to watch you as...
I want your eyes glued to me, baby.
I see.
He's still Twilight Skull.
Yep. 100%.
Is Twilight is wondering if there's any services and or accommodations or assistance that the temple can provide us as we both look to seek favor with the Lady of Shadows, as well as our dealings in the town.
Not really. They're not a political influence. They are a temple for worshiping Imkale. They're not set up to go and do that. You can get a meal here, but it's going to be, bread and water with a couple vegetables, a little bit of cheese.
Chasing death off by one additional day.
Essentially.
And so they've got no knowledge of the inner workings of the town or provide any insight on Muchisio?
None of the various members of the political party worship here. They're more focused on outreach to the poor. They're not really connected politically at all. They stay very much out of it and are tolerated and left alone. They basically have religious freedom because they don't meddle in politics or the goings-on of the city. So they're happy with where they're at.
Any change of how the senior priest is dealing with us?
He's not showing any deference now. He's just, after having straightened himself up after a couple moments, he will stand up and say, I'm glad you got the answers you desired.
With that, Covet nods at the priest and she heads towards the dais herself, the altar.
Okay.
Because she also wants to pray.
All right. So you're going up front as well instead of using the prayer bench?
Oh, I mean, I can use the prayer bench or the altar or whichever. Every time that she's gone in and actually gotten him to speak to her, she's always been at the altar.
Okay, that's up to you.
So
all right,
she's
so
gonna
you're
go
going
up
up
to
there.
the altar.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool. All right.
because I'm special like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Why mess with
special
it?
when
Why
everyone
mess
is
with
equal
it?
in death.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you get up there. You find yourself feeling a little nervous because all the eyes in the room are on your back, including Twilight's.
she actually takes comfort in the fact that his eyes are on her.
Do you look behind you?
She doesn't,
Okay.
just because she knows that it's him.
Yep.
So she, I guess, begins to pray.
Okay. Twilight, do you like church girls?
I like this one.
Understood. So, Covet, can I get a religion check? And what are you saying in your prayer?
In her prayer, she says that she knows what she brought to this church is dangerous. That she gave it to the priest who put it in a place of well hidden, a place that is well hidden. No, but I mean, this is like if he actually shows up to her kind of situation. So yeah, she's gonna roll her religion check first.
Sure.
Oh, not very good at all. Nope, nope, she's not saying any of that out loud.
You are comforted by the fact you're in the temple. However, there is no reaction.
She kind of expected that.
Okay.
But because she's never seen MKL interact with her and Twilight at the same time. So it's not odd to her.
All right. Cool. So after your prayer, there's a little bit of awkward silence there.
She stands, she turns, and goes to Twilight and says, "It is not my time."
Of course, and you're with me till the end of the days.
She smiles and says, "Always." And she looks at Islaren and says, "It is the way of the gods sometimes."
Does that conclude our time here?
I believe it does. Are you satisfied?
I am.
Unless Islaren has anything she wants to pray about.
Islaren just shakes her head.
I think she's a little uncomfortable about being level 1 right now.
Level 0.
0? Oh, nice.
I mean, we are all equal in death. So she says, "I am ready, if you are."
After you, my dear.
She turns to the priest and nods, acknowledging that we are ready to leave, and
Gives you a little bow.
With a knowledge of there is much to protect.
Indeed. Go with peace, children. And you will turn and head back towards the office.
As they head out of the cathedral, just before she leaves the doors, she just kind of says another silent prayer. It says, MKL, protect this temple. Protect this cathedral. For there is much that needs protection here. It's more under her breath.
Sure. Cool. Awesome. So you walk down the stairs, regaining levels as you go, until you find Ayla, Bwinkle, and Eowyn at the bottom of the steps.
Is Ayla scratching Winkle behind the ears?
No, I think she's saving that for a private area.
Ooh. Bwinkle goes over to Zlaren and asks, anything bad happen in there?
I don't think so.
Okay, so MKL didn't hit the smite button. That's good.
Yeah.
Flora just cracks a wry grin at that. If that happened, I think we would all know.
Well, Bwinkle turns around, kind of chuckles, and heads over to Alea.
You were betting that I was going to get smited?
Well, you never know.
Twilight grumbles a little bit at the lack of faith.
I believe it would be smote.
I mean, you are the resident paladin. So, where to? I'm good.
I guess we go to what's his name?
Ravage?
Yeah, the mustachioed one.
Covet takes the mask off,
Okay.
just puts it on her. She has not unattuned to it or anything. She's just putting it on her belt.
Sure. Cool.
We should be very careful what we say to Ravage.
You don't trust him.
I am coming to the belief that we should be careful about trusting anyone in this place.
I believe you're right. Last thing I want is the future that we saw for that to come true.
Indeed. We do not know who is allied with the Sultan, who is against the Sultan, who schemes, who moves. The wrong information in the wrong place could be a mistake we could make without even knowing it.
Am I the only one that thinks that this Ravage is just, I don't know. It kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies.
He invited us to his house.
Are you the only one who thinks what about him? I can't hear you.
Heebie-jeebies.
No, he gives me the heebie-jeebies too. I don't trust him as far as I can pick Winkle up and throw him, and I can't.
Except that one time.
Ashkan called him.
Adrenaline.
Is that what we're gonna call it? Uh-huh. I thought we were gonna call
Ashkan
it
called
dopamine.
him.
Go ahead.
Ashkan called him brutal,
Uh,
enigmatic, intelligent, not someone to be meddled with. Brutal is what sticks out to me the most.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing of him or Dad saying anything about him, so I can't help in that department. And I'm telling you straight up, I don't know this guy.
Can you hear me better now?
whoa! Wait,
That was
way too loud. That's not good. That's
Okay. I hear you. All right. How about now?
much better. Thank you.
Yes,
You're
thanks.
welcome. Sorry.
the jump scare.
Yeah, like you think that you might
Great, hey, what I love it.
be nice to the
I'm
sound.
sorry.
Sound barrier.
Her input was like down to 10, so I had to encourage her to fix it.
Yes.
I didn't realize it was that low. Sorry, guys.
Thank you. Much better now. So, if you don't trust Rafaj, what do you do now?
Ha 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 ha.
I still think we should go to his tower.
Oh yeah,
It's-
it's a chance to.
We got to start somewhere.
Just
And like I also
careful
feel
in
like
what we
we
say.
don't. And I feel like when a member of the team invites you somewhere, I don't get the sense that the option to refuse exists.
You hear a gasp from Twilight. Miss Lauren, are you saying that the end justifies the means?
Not at all.
That's what I just heard.
No, I didn't hear
No.
The
that.
means.
I didn't hear that.
The means themselves are justified here.
I believe that we definitely need to be wary of what we say.
And do.
Yeah.
It is possible that we could meet other members of the Batim while we're here, while we're there.
Twilight just snickers back.
I feel very uncomfortable about this, but
Yeah, but we've got to get
like
in
as
with
Lauren
them.
said, I don't think no is an answer. No is an option.
I do believe, though, that he wants to know what we want here. I believe he
don't know what
wants
we
to
want
know.
here.
He wants to control the situation, I believe.
I agree.
Then take a note from the Fae. Everything that you say has to have double meaning when you're around this person, and assume that that everything he says has double meaning.
But I feel personally attacked.
I'd be attacking myself as well. Hello. Ayla should know this too.
Yes.
Are you
Like I
stopping
said,
anywhere
I just don't
first?
trust him. I just don't trust him.
Are we stopping anywhere first?
Nowhere I need to stop. Does anyone else?
Oh, sorry. He should not be on the screen. Why is he on the screen? Stop that.
And GM Eric takes a newspaper to the mustachioed wizard.
Bad wizard.
Well, he's expecting us, so I guess we should ought to head on toward his place, huh? Don't want to make him mad. That could be bad.
All right. So you guys want to go there, or is there any stops you want to make on the way before arriving there?
Twilight will ask us, Lauren, if she's going to use detect good and evil, either at his location or prior to.
Let me check if I have it. Oh, I do not have that spell prepared. Perhaps I could use my divine sense, but that would not assist me in detecting any sort of motivation, merely whether or not he happens to be a fiend, a celestial, or an undead. I could detect magic, but I suspect I would find an inordinate amount of it.
Are we going to have any senses on when we go into his location?
Well, I can detect magic, but that kind of is not. I mean, that's kind of defeats the purpose. We're in the city of mages, and he's already known as the mustachioed mage. So, I mean, we're just going to have to rely on our own senses. And in past, we've been pretty good at it. So,
I will likely cast See Invisibility again. After all, the first time I did, I detected a scrying orb.
Cool. You do that now?
No, I'll wait till we get closer.
Okay.
But before we go inside.
This bow gives me the ability to detect evil and good. It's a concentration for up to 10 minutes. When we get outside, would you want me to utilize that?
Let's see what that spell actually does. Lauren will shrug non-committally. Do you think it is worth it? But I think there's a difference between evil and existential evil. And I think it does not help us detect mortal evil.
I think that saving that would probably behoove us, because most likely he will have his own home, place of business protected. We would not go in with him not knowing something's been cast.
I agree there. The mages here, particularly I understand of the Batim, are very, very sensitive in knowing when magic has been cast around them.
All right. So what is this dude's actual name?
Rafaj.
Rafaj the mustachioed mage.
So I'm gonna use Murmurs of Mortas on Rafaj Mustachios Mage.
Oh. Okay. The Murmurs of Moritas. On the Mustachioed Wizard, Rafaj. Understood. This is the second time in 2 days I get to do this. So, as you cast the spell, we're going to put him on the screen for a moment so that we can see who we're referencing.
And I will convey any of this information to my party because I'm not going to be able to repeat any of it.
Understood.
Nope, not in his state. Not in his state. Nope, nope, nope.
So, Twilight's Call. In your mind, you hear a little old gnomish man begin ranting. So, you see, the Rafaj, the mustachioed wizard, he's famous for his mustache. It's quite grand. He takes great care of it. He's had it since he was 14 years old, I say. Or younger. Somebody even remembered that he was born with a mustache because he's had it for so damn long, you don't understand. But he's a powerful member of my team. Organization of mages who kind of rule the medocracy of Shatter Shaddai. You know what Shatter Shaddai is? It's a big city way off to the south of Florida. It's a city's a collection of people who willingly form a collection of buildings that form an establishment and a municipality. Municipality is more of laws and things that govern people that are willing to be there. Anyway, enough about the municipalities and cities, and you probably understand what those are. But the mustachioed wizard is part of this city. He's part of the leadership of the city. That's deemed by the Sultan Lagos. He is quite an austere man. He's very well known and very well to do. He's an alumni of the Grand Library, a college, not really a library, even though they do have libraries there, you understand, of course. But when you talk about a Grand Library, you think about, ooh, very big and austere, But it's very austere, very big, and it's got many buildings, yes, but it's really more of an arcane college that Rafaj graduated from several years ago, when I was a little young man, of course. But he has a mastery of both fire and water magic. He's quite talented, but he experiments, and he has various servants in the form of galabdurs and little elemental creatures that he creates, that he experiments on and uses as servants. You understand? But they're all over the place. He likes to put them in the markets to do his trading for him. He sends them on mundane tasks and doesn't pay them. It's almost like slavery. Slavery is where you have someone do something for you, but you don't give them any rewards. But he's okay, though. He doesn't do it to conscious people, more of just constructs he's created. So it's like a machine. A machine is like a series of parts that do things that you make it do. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Anyway, the Mustachioed Wizard is quite loyal to the Sultan Lagos. He's deeply loyal and considers Lagos to be an excellent leader. He is, however, less tolerant of the every people. You understand, the people beneath him in station. He views them as necessary towards the function of the city. He does not abuse them or anything, but rather views them as, you understand, ants in a colony. Well, there are many, many workers and only a few kings and queens, as you would say. And Rafaj views himself as one of the upper tier. After all, he is part of the team, which is that organization of 12 mages, you understood. We already got to the city and all that. Anyway, but Rafaj is quite good and well respected, if he does have secrets that he does not let out. It's said that he was supposed to be responsible for the deaths of some people in the Grand Library several years ago, but who knows? Nothing ever stuck to it, and he was exonerated of any wrongdoing. Everything seems to have gone away. But Rafaj is quite talented in the magical arts. He is quite good at chess and backgammon and plays cards. And his favorite food is Turkish delight and fudge and all sorts of delectable sweets. So I don't really think he has a specific favorite food, but he more likes just all sorts of any kind of desserts and finger foods. It's one of those things that he can eat when he's got the mustache without getting it all dirty. Because remember, he takes very good care of the mustache that he's had his entire life. Probably even had it in the womb, if you have to ask. Because if you're born with it, you had to have it in the womb, right? Of course. Would that be a little bit itchy coming on the way out? I think it would. Anyway, is there anything else that you need to know? Oh, yes, you need to know that he is tailor. He's one of the best tailors in town who does all the brocade and everything in town. They do it all by hand. It's quite fascinating. He's originally from Shatter Shadai, of course, and when he was born, he had that mustache, you remember. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
For the record, that is Twilight's normal standard thought stream, so he would follow all of that.
Understood. It's probably
Kevin
also his thought
follows.
stream right now.
For some strange reason, Twilight wants to pick up a box of Turkish delight en route to Mustachios' house.
Okay. A little box of Turkish delight will cost you a silver piece.
And Twilight would pay that.
Covet also picks up a thing of fudge.
Okay, what kind of fudge did you pick up?
Chocolate fudge. And it's the drier kind, not too gooey that gets all stuck on your fingers. It's the it's almost like a true candy,
Okay.
but still soft.
Okay. So it's
Enough-
a tempered chocolate fudge.
Where it's just easy to bite in. Yeah.
Any additions to the fudge, or is it just chocolate? This
She
is
would
Eric
probably
judging.
go. You can judge all you want. She'd probably have it be the marbled chocolate fudge, honestly.
Marbled with what?
White and dark.
White and dark chocolate. Okay.
Well, since we're
Mhm.
stopping at the chocolate place, I'm going to get some of the chocolate peanut butter fudge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my thing.
All
Besides,
right.
I think the moose would probably like some of that also.
Mr. Bwinkle, do you like fudge?
Oh, yes. That's so yummy.
Anyone else want to pick anything here at the confectioner's shop?
Oh,
Covet just make sure that that the box that she picks up with, that she gets with the fudge in it, the marbled fudge, has is like a gift. It looks like a gift.
Okay. So you can pay an extra copper piece for gift wrapping.
Yep.
Winkle looks over and finds some chocolate mousse berries. Chocolate-covered mousse berries.
Chocolate-covered moose berries. Understood. Ayla, you see Winkle near that large 50-gallon barrel of chocolate-covered moose berries.
Watch it, moose.
Oh, they're so yummy.
Yeah, I know. Behave yourself. We're going to be out in public.
Is Winkle grazing?
He would if I'd let him.
Winkle, do you try?
Oh, of
I want to see this
course.
sleight of hand.
Let's roll your sleight of hand check, sir. And will Ayla allow him to buy moose berries? Wow. With the 26, Ayla, you did not see Winkle consume how many moose berries, Winkle? How many chocolate-covered moose berries?
Oh, about 40 or 50.
Oh God!
1D100.
All right.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
I love it. I hear this. So much laughter through. I love the fact that we can hear Winkle this week. It's great.
Yeah. Winkle, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw. And the DC is a 45.
I'm gonna make that. I'm dumb.
I know, but it's fun. So with an 11, Winkle, after consuming these chocolate-covered mooseberries, they sit there for about, 5 minutes or so? I mean, before they start to take effect.
Oh boy.
Winkle, you're beginning to get urges.
Oh yes.
Does anybody have a squirt bottle?
Ayla, with your passive perception, you can see the eyes.
Yes.
You can see the lips and the
Yes.
lolling tongue.
Yes.
Winkle is salivating and unable to resist the charms of anything. If you resist him, he's going to have to find something.
Gee whiz. But I can't do this now.
Winkle, you look around, desperate for release.
Ooh, let's see.
Does anyone want to do anything, as Winkle's state is that of a cat hopped up on a pound of catnip?
Yeah, but a cat hooked up on that much catnip will finally pass out.
Yep, in just
Are
a
you going
moment.
to carry him?
I don't want to carry him. He's too big.
He's beginning to quiver and bellow and sing.
Moose.
I would like to wait until he is distracted.
Okay? He's highly distracted,
Specifically, not looking at me.
right? He's not looking at you. You're not available.
And I would like to try to lay on hands and spend 5 hit points to either cure a disease or neutralize a poison. See if this qualifies as either.
All right. Ooh, does this qualify as a poison? I think so. So, Winkle,
Yeah.
as Islarin neutralizes the effect of the chocolate-covered mooseberries, you lose your rush, you lose your high instantly, which is immediately replaced with a massive hangover and withdrawal. Winkle is going to gain a level of exhaustion after having consumed 40 to 50 mooseberries.
You silly moose, you know better than that.
Winkle, her voice echoes in your skull painfully.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't thinking. You moose just get excited
So
about
let
these.
me deal out the mooseberries from now on. And you won't go without them, I promise.
She wants to control her.
I have.
Now, Twilight.
So you're going to deal them out for me? You'll be my dealer.
See, I make cookies for you with them, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so trust me on this. And the rest of y'all hush.
Hey, are you
It's-
going to help?
It's not a
Nope,
dealer
yeah.
if they're providing it one at a time. That's more like being someone who prescribes them.
Ooh.
So, a pharmacist?
More like a pharmacist, yes.
Ooh. Yeah,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
They're the legal
I
version.
did get a PhD when he graduated from pharmacy school.
Yeah?
Yeah, PhD, putting hubby through.
All right. God. So if you're controlling his urges, that makes him whipped moose, right? Understood.
He's happy. He's happy.
I'm sure he
And
is.
y'all can deal with him better if he's happy and not that other kind of happy.
Understood. That other kind of happy's for other situations. Anyway, anything else you guys want at the confectioner's shop? Eowyn, anything you want here? Any candies, sweets, etc.?
Well, I've been thinking actually, and is there maybe something here that's like completely foreign to where I'm from?
Oh yes, from Nausha, there's lots of things that are foreign to you. There's a macadamia brittle that looks delicious. Okay, those of you who can't see the webcam right now, I just got from Ayla. Yeah, macadamia brittle.
That sounds marvelous.
They're delicious.
Is there anything I could bring back to Nausea?
Sure. There's a tin of macadamia brittle.
That may have to go in the cookbook.
I think I actually have a recipe for that. I'll have to find it.
Do you think Fernaldus would like it?
Oh yeah, Ronaldus would absolutely like this.
Okay, I'll get that then.
Okay. Cool. And I'm going to put this recipe from food.com over in your Discord channel because I know how much people like trying things. So here's macadamia brittle.
Thank you.
There you go. Looks pretty easy. It's like 45 minutes.
The hardest part of any brittle is heating it up to the right temperature.
Yep.
So, and that's what takes so long.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Does look good.
Cool. So, anything else you guys want from the confectioner shop? Miss Lauren? Some seaweed crisps?
As long as not going to get anything.
No? Okay. No candied tuna?
Nope.
All right. Cool. So, where are we going? What are we doing?
I guess we need to go to Rafage's.
All right.
Yep.
So, you guys head across town after having gotten a couple of supplies. Following the directions that Rafage gave you, it's pretty straightforward to find Rafage's place. It's kind of hard to miss. It kind of stands out. As you guys approach...
That's not ominous in any shape, form, or fashion.
As you guys arrive, what do you want to do? You have not stepped up to the door yet, but you can.
This is where I will
Have it
cast
sent that to
invisibility.
you.
Send what to me? Oh, gotcha.
A message.
Understood. Cool. Got it.
I'm going to look around and see if I see any scrying orbs like earlier.
You will. However, they're not in your immediate vicinity or anyone near you. You look at them and you see that there are 14 of them surrounding the house.
Security cameras.
Or something.
Paparazzi cameras?
Not going to answer that.
Today on Bateen Now.
Someone will speculate, but otherwise, yeah, I'll look to everyone else, see if they're ready to go in or to knock on the door.
Did you want me to detect evil and good?
If you think it would be helpful.
Be careful though, because if you cast that, he's gonna know it.
All right. What's the plan?
If you do cast it, and he knows it and says something, you can always say you were wondering if those things that were watching were evil or good.
I'll
Kevin's stunned for a minute because she was like, out of this giant moose, there are kernels of wisdom. She's kind of shocked.
Like a broken clock, it's right twice a day.
I promise it won't happen again.
Yes, it will. You come up with these little nuggets all the time. It's
Is
just
that
that when you
before or
do,
after you smack him in the head?
No, he comes up
Well,
with
sometimes-
nuggets just by walking.
yeah.
Ooh, moose nugget.
All right. So what's the plan?
if no one else has anything they want to do, I'll just step up and knock on the door.
All right. You knock on the door.
Covet is going to continue to take a step back from trying to be the leader just because she's so scared of what the future may hold.
Okay. So you knock on the door, and you're going to hear a voice from inside. Who there?
It's Lauren, daughter of Denrin and Kolos.
Don't know you.
Rivage asked us to meet us here.
Really?
Indeed.
Why?
I believe he wished to speak with us.
Why?
I do not know the inner workings of the mind of the mustachioed wizard. But when he asks one to do something, I suspect that most find it is best to obey.
Obey, yeah. Obey good.
Will you inform us? Will you inform him that we are here?
Big word.
Would you
Will you
tell
tell
him?
him that we are here?
Ah, tell. Yeah, me tell. The door still hasn't opened. You don't know who you're talking to. The sound from the other side of the door has gone silent.
Maybe we
He's
should
the
have
one
told him
telling.
to tell him right now. So we wait a few minutes.
Twilight
Okay.
will pull out his pan flute and start playing.
Okay. You hear a knock on the door.
We hear a knock on the door.
Yes.
Yes.
For glitter gum.
What?
For glitter gum.
guess is
Or-
as good as mine, folks.
Glitter gum.
Or Glittergrum.
Is that your name?
Yes. That's why I say.
Ah, thank you, or Glitter Gum.
No. Or Glittergrum.
Did you tell Rafaj that he has guests waiting to see him?
No. Say it's Lauren.
Lauren is waiting to see Rafaj. Did you tell him now?
Yes.
Good job.
What did he say?
He said, go get. You still haven't, the door still hasn't opened.
I try opening the door.
The door opens. On the floor in front of the door, way too short to be able to reach the knob, you see a little elemental guy.
He is so stinking cute.
No. I am Borg Glittergrum.
Yes, you are.
For Glittergrum, you're just as cute as you can be.
No. I am Borg Glittergrum.
Yes, you are.
Yes. This
Could you
way.
take us to Rafaj now? Thank you.
Yes. This way. And he turns around and waddles. And as he waddles, it's this toddler walk where he goes tilting side to side like a weeble. And he will take you upstairs to a magnificent seating area.
How do I get one of those?
You become the mustachioed wizard.
God, that's gorgeous.
Thank you. It took a lot of manual work and then some AI art to finish it up. We've got a ton
That
of
is
things
stunning.
coming. As
And
you
what
see,
is Borg Glitter
what is Borg Glittergrum?
officially? Yes, because you said he's like a little
Said he was an
elemental.
elemental.
He's an elemental of some kind. I'm not going to reveal that unless you can figure it out. Okay?
Okay, fair.
I know that's mean, but I'm going to just say that's the only way to do it fairly.
No, that's fair.
So would that be an investigation or is that a
Arcana check.
okay?
You do not know, you do not know. You do not know. Looking at the inspiration tracker that we have now, everyone has inspiration, but no one wants to use it to try to figure out what Borg Glittergrum is.
I'm
because-
going to.
That's because we're in a big, bad, scary place.
I'm going to use mine.
Okay. With a 21, Borg Glittergrum is a Galabdur, which is an offshoot of a rock elemental. They're intelligent and have hearty appetites for stone. Borg Glittergrum is going to bring you into this place and point at the couches. Borg Glittergrum not allowed on couches. Guests on couches, yes. Be comfy. And he's going to turn and waddle out.
Twilight will put the Turkish delight on the table, and there in the middle.
Okay. After a couple moments, you'll hear a voice on the far side of the room walking in. Ah, esteemed guests, welcome to my home. I trust you've found yourselves comfortable. Or Glittergrum said that you were here. So,
Hey, this is a beautiful place.
thank you. I've been collecting and working very hard in order to ensure that I have nice things. It has been quite an effort, but I'm glad you appreciate it. Please, make yourself comfortable.
For your hospitality.
Oh dear. Confections. How delightful. Turkish delight. Oh, if only I could have some. Well, of course I could have at least one. Just one. And he will take one, and parting his mustache, he will put it into his mouth very carefully so as to not soil his beard or mustache.
Which would be easy to do with one of these.
As someone who is of the bearded persuasion, yes, it is exceedingly difficult to eat confections without collateral damage.
And Turkish delights are coated in powdered sugar, so
Oh yeah.
Not always, not always, but they are rather
Frequently.
sticky.
frequently.
If they don't have the powdered sugar, they are very sticky. If they have the powdered sugar, it acts like a handle, which is great.
I've had them where I've had a very interesting Turkish delight where it was rose petals and pistachios mixed in. It's very interesting.
So, welcome to Shatter Shaddai, as he sits in one of the armchairs. You said that you were from overseas and came aboard a ship?
Indeed. We're all from various parts. I myself am from the Shinoza Protectorate.
Truly interesting. What would such a distant journey bring you to Shatter Shaddai for? Are you not applicants for the Grand Library? An assumption, of course.
Well, we certainly wish to be the Grand Library, but, well, I was recently appointed ambassador of the Protectorate. and I am-
Congratulations. A pleasure
Thank
and an
you.
honor to have you in my house.
Pleasure is mine.
Huh.
I've been traveling to various places to introduce myself and greet people who I may need to develop relationships with in the future.
Of course. He stands up and goes over to a decanter and begins to pour 2 glasses. And will hand you one. Congratulations on your appointment, Madam Ambassador.
Thank you.
He will smell it and then swallow.
He will mirror his gesture.
It's good stuff. But what would the ambassador of the Protectorate want with Shatter Shaddai? And how can I be of service?
Well, I am interested in some exploratory conversations with the Sultan.
Oh,
After all, it is. I understand that he is not one who is necessarily readily available.
not at all.
I understand he has a great many people clamoring for his time.
Indeed. Gaining an audience with the Sultan is no mere task. Of course, with how diplomatic you are in your presence, I'm sure you'll find it less challenging than others. But the process is quite clear. In order to gain an audience with Sultan Lagos, one must receive admonishment and endorsement by all 12 members of the Batim. only then, is a applicant deemed safe enough to be in the presence of the Sultan. Thus, we handle minor affairs and ensure that the city is taken care of before approaching him with any undue needs. You understand the Sultan is a very busy man and does relish his free time.
Yes, of course. As well as his security.
Indeed. We act as both guards and assistants for the Sultan. So, perhaps I can assist you, or perhaps one of the other members of the team could. What exactly do you want from Shatter Shaddai?
As in my role as ambassador, I am hoping to perhaps explore whether it is the right time for us to develop more open relationships with the rest of the world. Of course, Shatter Shaddai is very distant from us, so part of this operation is to explore whether or not that is even feasible. Long journey to get here.
Indeed. How many months did it take you?
I guess how many months in-game was that?
2.
It was 2 months journey.
Got one job on this ship.
I think that's the first one.
The length of the journey is something that can be overcome. The perils of traveling past the ancient wastes, perhaps more of a challenge.
He gets exceedingly interested. You passed the ancient wastes of Sho? Tell me of them.
They are dangerous, of course.
Of course.
They are
Details, Ambassador. I seek details of what you saw.
in pauses, considering I can provide limited details, as it's my understanding that those were too free with information do not tend to last long in this city.
Ah. A shrewd ambassador. The Protectorate has chosen well. I must confess, my interests with the ancient wastes are academic. I have heard of them, but never had the opportunity to visit, much less known anyone to survive a trek there and return. So your statement that you were there piqued my curiosity. So, as you desire to hold these as cards for the future, I respect that as a diplomat. Although I will say that I am disappointed as a man. Because as a scholar, I have a hunger and a thirst for knowledge. I do not hold it against you, but rather acknowledge how shrewd of an adversary I have in the room. Well done, Madam Ambassador.
I don't believe we need to be adversaries in this matter. Simply, well, I also need information about Shatter Shaddai and what can best help us accomplish our goals here.
True. Tell me, Madam Ambassador, you like chess?
I enjoy it. However, I've never found much of a talent for it.
Oh, but with your mind for diplomacy, you would do quite well. It seems that one of your allies here has a taste for chess. Regardless, it is not our playtime at the moment, but rather you seek knowledge of our fair city. The city is, by the most part, open. We are very transparent as to what happens here. It fosters goodwill with the people, and there are a great many people here. So, what can I, Rafaj, tell you about our city? He's offered. Have fun.
Let me think for 1 second. How do I want to actually phrase this? First, could you tell me about the other members of the Batin?
Oh, reconnaissance on those who you would speak with. Of course, of course. The Batim are diverse. We do not all get along, but we do respect each other. We are a series of counters and balances that allow the city to thrive and function. Well, as in all things, order is important. Don't you agree, Madam Ambassador?
Of course, I've seen the consequences that befall places when order collapses.
Well, let us begin. I hope you guys have your notebooks. Here we go.
Some of us can't write.
Well, some of us have wives who can. Also, the VOD will be available later. So, heads up. So, let us begin. First, we will begin with Basira al-Qadir, the Mage of the Shadowed Flame. She is a intimidating but fiercely loyal woman. She is the right hand of wrath of the Sultan. She is not to be meddled with or trifled with, and she serves as the intelligence of the Sultan, right? Wielding both shadow and flame. It's rumored that she is descended from a Baelor. I don't believe it, though. I believe that Basira has harnessed a Baelor's soul and wields it as a weapon. She was born into a family of warriors and trained in combat before discovering her magical potential. She graduated from the Grand Library approximately 20 years ago. Her youthful appearance is due to magical wards and incantations upon her body, which is held together by her armor, lest it erupt and burst outwards uncontrollably. She is safeguarded fluid from countless threats, and her loyalty is unquestionable. She is loyal to first Shatter Shaddai and second to Sultan Legos. Did you have any questions about Basira al-Qadir? before we continue.
What was she before she became a primary member of the team?
Before, she was a student and graduate of the Grand Library of Shadow Shaddai. You understand, there are several ranks within the Grand Library. I'm sure you're aware? Or should I go through them for your own benefit, in order to rehash that which you already know?
Please confirm our suspicions.
Of course. The Grand Library is an arcane college. We treat it as a school in order to educate people in the ways of magic and magic control, in order to limit the expression of their magical powers to that which they desire to use, as opposed to simply free-ranging magic and erupting and destroying themselves. We teach management and control. Before Basira became part of the team, she was first a warrior, born to the family Al-Qadir, who roamed the sands just south of Corlin. She became an applicant of the school, followed by an aspirant, then a student, and finally a graduate, and lastly an alumni. After her duties within the city of Shadow Shaddai and the army proved that she was so talented, she was appointed a member of the Batim to replace the former, who died. Mysterious circumstances.
Does that happen often?
Not often, but occasionally. It's only happened twice in the time that I have been a member of the Batim. So, uncommon in the past 60 years. So, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. It's applicant, aspirant.
Is this
Go ahead.
Is there any similarities to the college that Twilight went to?
This is far more formal and segmented.
Okay.
This is far, far more formal, segmented. Next would be Farouk Al-Karim, the Golden Voice. He is a master of vocal enchantment and sonic magic. He is also the Minister of Culture and Communication and oversees the museums and other festivities that the populace enjoy. He's quite a handsome individual in his own right, and has a fairly well done mustache, if limited in scope. He was originally born into a family of performers, circus performers, if you can believe that. His talents rose so far as to allow him to practice magic until an accident, when he cheered someone too loudly. They were flung off of a high wire act and fell and were injured. It was because of that act that we fostered him within the Grand Library and taught him control. He now uses his magics to influence emotions, spread messages of the Sultan, and bolster the morale of the city. His work ensures that Fluiden's culture remains vibrant and the Sultan's decrees are well received by the people. If you believe in charisma, Farouk is a shining example. Any questions about Farouk?
What was he in charge of again?
He's in charge of public morale, public relations. He handles the museums and cultural experiences of the city of Shener Shaddai, and most of Fluidin.
He's the bard.
He's the bard. But not just bard, but historian as well. He handles cultural events and cultural organizations, museums, history lessons, schools, etc. Culture and communication.
GM, would there be any benefits to the characters for participating in any type of demonstrations at the library or competitions or for some type of enhancements to magic or anything?
Potentially.
No.
That depends on a wide variety of factors. Do you ask him how to gain access to the Grand Library?
No, not yet.
Okay, understood. Next is the oldest member of the team, Idris Mahram, also known as the Silver Sage. Idris is older than I am, which is saying something. He has been a member of the team for the better part of 85 years. Idris specializes in illusions and handles the vast majority of trade within the city of Shener Shaddai and for the entire country of Fluidin. His specialty is mirror magic, and thus implements travel through a variety of surfaces ranging from truly hard mirrors like that which you would have in a house to the surfaces of water or even glass. He was originally born into a wealthy merchant family, and due to his affinity with alchemy, it allowed him to turn modest profits into vast fortunes. He was recognized by the Batim and recommended to Sultan Lago for his economic ingenuity. Independently wealthy and having no need for further wealth, all his needs met, he was recruited and appointed to manage the kingdom's resources. Idris's policies have made Fluidin a hub of trade and innovation, earning him widespread respect and honor, which he values higher and more than physical wealth.
Twilight perks up a little bit and says, well, if he's been the longest member at 85 years and was recommended to the Sultan, has the Sultan been in the seat for much longer?
Indeed. Sultan Lego has been in charge of Shener Shaddai for the better part of 480 years.
Impressive.
It's rumored he may be the same Sultan from the founding of Shener Shaddai, but I don't believe that.
Stranger things have happened.
Indeed. Like meeting an ambassador of the Protectorate in my home. You guys done with Idris for now? Because just wanting to make sure you guys get all the information you're wanting before Rafaj moves forward. And are your characters taking notes, or are they simply trying to remember all this?
Oh, Covet would be sitting there taking notes.
Okay.
So is Ayla.
Rafaj finds it flattering that your characters are taking notes. He kind of likes the fact that you are, and accepting the knowledge he's giving out. He likes it. He likes feeling smart. All right, any questions about Idris?
I do.
Yes.
What can make him actually be impressed with us?
For Idris to be impressed, you would need to show financial intelligence, economic fortitude, and a way to demonstrate wealth. Even then, he likely would simply acknowledge you as being capable. To get on Idris's good side, you must speak intelligently and respect him for his position.
I have met Idris when I was a child and came with my father here.
Truly.
Yes, my father came representing the king of Cariol Island, and I came, and I remember him telling me that I must be on my P's and Q's. And I remember when I met him, I gave him a very deep curtsy. I was like 8 maybe, and he seemed very impressed that a child would do that. I remember him going on and on about it. So he likes formality as well, I believe. He and my father spoke a long time about trade matters. I got bored and went to sleep, but that much I remember.
You may be surprised, but Idris Maram has a great memory. It is likely he will remember the event, if not your face.
Twilight will hold up 4 fingers to Ayla.
What does that mean?
Ayla knows.
Uh-oh. This is code behind the scenes that Geomeric doesn't understand. That is a real-life code being slipped past me.
No, it's 4 times I didn't tell him something.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think about it until I got here and he started naming. I didn't know he was a member of the Batim. I just knew this man I had to meet.
So, after Idris, we have Jamila Badr, the Moonbinder. She is a lunar sorceress, specializes in lunar light and magic at night. She is the nocturnal in security and intelligence. If there is to be a spy network that monitors the people, Jamila is the leader. She ensures that crime is limited and that the perpetrators are caught, but not punished. She is not an enforcer, but rather a policing agency. She has a vast network of spies throughout Shatter Shaddai, but that is the limit of her reach, I'm sure. She was born into an aristocratic family and found her calling under the full moon when she was accidentally transformed into a desert lynx. Recognizing her talents and not knowing how to transform her back, they sent her to study with the Batim and the rest of the Grand Library, where she was educated to master her abilities. and now only changes forms when she desires. Her loyalty to the Sultan stems from his role in uniting Fluidan's diverse communities, which is a cause that she holds dear. She is fiercely loyal to Sultan Lego, often acting as his shadowy protector. She believes that Sultan represents the soul of Fluidan and is determined to safeguard him from both physical and political threats. If you are at a dinner party, she will not be sitting, but will be in the room.
Again, the moose ask, and how can we impress her?
He scoffs. I do not know. Finding a way to impress or flatter an inscrutable, incorruptible woman, as far as I know, is truly impossible. I welcome your attempts and would pay hearty money simply as a wager that I believe it to be a task beyond anyone within the city to get on her good side. Save for Sultan Lego. Any more questions about Jamila?
So that's what, 5, including Rafaj, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Correct.
Okay.
Yep, there's 12 of them we got to go through. Next, we discuss Kadir Al-Farid, the Stormcaller. Kadir Al-Farid is a powerful mage specializing in meteorology and weather magics. He is in charge of the agriculture and weather regulation of the city. Have you enjoyed the weather we have had since arriving? It is all because of Kadir's influence upon nature. He is a towering figure at 6'5". He's electric blue eyes, and his robes are not embroidered, but rather scarred with the presence of storm clouds. He is viewed and revered as a member of the Batim. He is considered to be a friend of the people. He uses his mastery of the atmosphere and weather to ensure bountiful harvests and protect the nation from natural disasters. I have seen him stand before a hurricane and turn it aside. The man is exceedingly powerful. He was originally born during a violent desert storm in the land of Australia. Kadir was seen as a harbinger of chaos. His early affinity for summoning rain and controlling winds earned him the trust of his people, but also drew suspicion. We recognized his potential and brought him under our wing, where he became a vital force in stabilizing Fluidan's climate. Kadir's efforts have saved the nation from drought and famine so many times that even I have lost count, which is saying something. He is a beloved friend of the populace. Should Sultan Lego ever require a successor, Kadir Al-Farid would be at the forefront of the people's choice. As far as your question, Friendly Moose, which I have begun to learn you are wont to ask. To gain his loyalty or respect, you must treat the people of Shatter Shaddai well and understand harvests and agriculture.
Wonder if he's interacted with Shalon over there in the deserts of Estrella.
I do not know. I have heard the name, but I do not know the person.
Well, that's understandable.
Any other questions about Kadir? Nope. All right. Next, we go to Layla Isfanjiyari, the Sand Whisperer, a powerful geomancer who handles desert magic on the northern side of Fluidin. She is rarely within the city of Shatter Shaddai, handling mostly to distant affairs and handling natural resources. She ensures sustainable mining, farming, and water usage. She works closely with Kadir. Her geomantic magic allows her to shape landscapes and locate hidden reserves of precious minerals and water. She was raised in a remote desert village of Corlin, and as a smooth skin, was ostracized. Her connection to the land was evident from a young age. She saved her village from starvation by summoning a hidden oasis and guiding them to fertile soil. Recognizing her ability to harness the desert's power, we trained her within the Grand Library to become a steward of Fluidin's vast resources. Layla's policies have transformed barren wastelands into thriving settlements. For example, the village of Ma Barid. Layla now works closely with Sultan Lego, but maintains a pragmatic perspective. While she respects the Sultan's role, she is not afraid to advocate for harsh measures when necessary to preserve Fluidin's prosperity. She values results over tradition, which sometimes creates tension within the Batim and the rest of the royal court. She is a woman of facts, not emotions. Should you try to gain her favor, you will have to appeal to the benefit of Fluidin. All right. Any questions about Layla? Yeah, you guys must be taking tons of notes. You guys are being real quiet.
Oh, many notes.
I've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages now.
What can I say except you're welcome?
You're welcome. That's okay. I've only been through 3, but I'm not writing incomplete sentences.
Neither am I.
All right. Next, we have Nafis Ibn Rahman, the Whispering Flame. He is a specialist and rival of mine. He specializes in pyromancy and combustion science. He handles most of the industrial innovation and energy management of the city of Shatter Shaddai. Nafis is quiet and reserved in public. but is known to have passions for various members of the opposite sex. His hair is, of course, perfect in all aspects. And keeps a penchant for keeping it to himself, except when approached by an opportunity to engage in private discourse with friends. As the Whispering Flame, he is responsible for advancing Fluiden's industries through innovative uses of pyromancy, from powering machinery to creating fire-based defenses. Nafis's magic drives the technological process of all of Shatter Shadai and Fluiden. The lights, the lamps that appear magical next to you, are all powered by things that Nafis has invented or implemented. He was originally born to a pair of blacksmiths. He used his powers to create intricate weapons and tools in their service. His breakthrough came when he invented a sustainable magic furnace, revolutionizing Fluiden's forges and workshops. His talent caught the attention of the Matim, and he was granted admission into the Grand Library. He quickly rose through the ranks and began to harness his innovative genius for the kingdom. Nafis views the Sultan as a symbolic figure, necessary for public morale, but largely irrelevant to his work, which is where he and I disagree. Sultan Lego truly is the heart of the city. His focus lies solely on his craft, and he rarely engages with court politics, preferring to let his creations speak for him. If you are seeking to gain his favor, I recommend finding single women who can manipulate him.
Yeah, we don't have any of those.
There are plenty within the city. I can provide you with some names of his favorites. And he's going to write down on a piece of paper one word. And the word is Lucy. Should you get into her good graces, I'm sure you could find a way to work with Nafis. Meanwhile, Jordan's like, hell yeah.
As soon as as soon as you introduced who he was, like I knew kind of where that was going.
Next, anyone else about Nafis? Any other questions?
Pyromancy and combustion.
Pyromancy and combustion, yes. To say he's hot would be an understatement.
Does he ever dally with married women?
Not that I'm aware of, but
Just curious.
I'm sure that given the right opportunity, should the others consent, he might, if he was not knowledgeable. He is a good man at heart, but has tastes that I am too old for. I see much of myself, my younger self, in Nafis.
Because of his developing mustache.
His mustache has no hope to be near glorious enough. He will never supplant my role as the mustachioed wizard. Any questions? No? All right. I saw his siren light up, but I didn't hear anything.
I said none here.
Okay, understood. Next we have Sadiqa al-Rasad, the Weaver of Fates. Sadiqa al-Rasad. She is the arbiter of time and historical integrity. She works with the others to ensure that the histories of Fluidin are maintained. She is a mysterious figure and enigmatic. She seems to be able to read both futures and pasts, potentials, and certainties. It is always disconcerting to be the target of her gaze. Be cautious around Sadiqa, because she is an enigma. She is said to oversee the delicate balance of Fluidin's history and future, ensuring no one influences or interferes in the natural flow of time. There is a scandal currently going on that she may have failed in her role. You may be able to blackmail her.
A scandal? That's never good for someone of importance.
Indeed. It's boundless, I'm sure, but the rumors do thrive in the streets.
What do the rumors say occurred?
That a student had some sort of experiment that went awry and forever altered the timelines. Of course, we would have no knowledge of this because we would then be living in the timeline. So the point is moot regardless. Sadiqa was born during a lunar eclipse. She was believed to be a child of prophecy, and her village elders of Mabarin sent her to study here at the Grand Library and with us, the Batim. When her prophetic dreams began altering local politics, we managed to ensure that threats to the Sultan were squashed. She was trained rigorously in the art of chronomancy and was friends with several of the professors of the Grand Library, notably Gert Frost. I'll type that name in here. She developed a keen ability to predict future events and guide the present to avoid catastrophic outcomes. Her role in preventing a rebellion against the Sultan cemented her place within the Batim. Though she values the Sultan as a symbol of unity, she prefers to remain at an observational distance. She doesn't choose to influence all decisions, but only those that require it. She believes that too much involvement in mortal affairs risks undermining her impartiality as a guardian of time. However, she does have a grudging respect for Sultan Lagos's dedication to Fluidin's welfare. Cool. Anything else?
Said the name Gert Frost. Is that a person who is still here?
No. Lady Professor Gertrude Frost has left Shatter Shaddai. She was here approximately 4 months ago. Where she went, I'm not certain, but she has resigned her position in the Grand Library. She was, for a while, an adjunct professor, only arriving for a few lessons a year. It's said that she resides in a small village hidden away somewhere in Reston. She enjoys simple things and the occasional glass of wine. Why? She's of no import to the Batim or Shatter Shaddai anymore. Not since she resigned.
See, no, there was a person named Frost whose name we had encountered, but perhaps they're not the same.
Truly? Who had you encountered?
Perhaps encountered is a strong word for it, but we had visited Kesu and the Frost, who is prominent there.
Oh, Lady Frost of Garden Soil. She and Gertrude Frost could
That is
not
the
be
one.
more polar opposite unless one was a man.
Understood.
Next is a name that I must speak carefully, for it resembles that of a famous wanted criminal. The name Safia El Ajar, the Emerald Veil. She is a protector of forests and agricultural harmony. She is serene as she is beautiful. She has the most emerald green eyes and always dresses perfectly. Her robes shimmer in sunlight as if her clothing itself is alive. She is known as the Emerald Veil and governs the natural landscaping and ensures balance between agricultural expansion and the preservation of the Sultanate. Her magic allows her to shape plant life and communicate with the natural world. She is of the Druidic persuasion. She grew up in a lush oasis on the fringes of Fluidon, and her connection to nature magic was evident as a child, when she revived a dying palm grove and saved her village from starvation. Her success brought her to the Grand Library under the attention of the Batim, where she mastered the ecosystem manipulation. Safia is deeply committed to sustainable practices and often clashes with those who prioritize progress over preservation. While she respects Sultan Lego's vision for Fluidon, she remains cautious about his ambitions. She advocates for long-term planning and often urges the Sultan to consider the environmental impact of his decisions. Despite their occasional disagreements, she recognizes his sincerity and works to align her goals with his. Nafis has an exceedingly high interest in Safia, but he will never gain her, for she has no interest in him. Any questions about Sophia? Oh. That?
Yep. What would impress her?
What would impress her? Truly? I have no idea. But perhaps flowers from an exotic place? Plants to be respected, not plucked and killed. She is, as some would say, a hippie.
She's a flower child.
Yes. Next, we have Tariq Al-Sanjar, the Dream Keeper. Oh, why did that work? Stop that. Come on. There we go. Tariq Al-Sanjar. He is the protector of mental well-being and an advisor on prophecy. Works closely with the Sultan in order to ensure that people have good dreams. He guards against outside influences from people like the House of Flowers and the Lady of Shadows. He is a tranquil figure, and his robes are always shimmering and flickering. I'm not sure if reality is real when I'm around him. I trust that I'm awake at this point in time and not dreaming in one of his experiments or sleep studies. He oversees the mental well-being of Fluidin citizens, protecting them from nightmares and extracting prophetic visions from the collective unconsciousness. His dream magic allows him to influence and interpret the dreams of others, ensuring stability within the Sultanate. He was raised by a family of nomadic mystics in Australia. Tariq was revered for his ability to soothe the restless and guide lost souls through their dreams. His talents brought him to the Batim and the rest of the Grand Library, where he became a trusted confidant for matters of prophecy and mental health. Tariq's calming presence has been instrumental in preventing unrest and guiding the Sultan during times of crisis. He's a psychologist and good at it, if a strange individual who enjoys dabbling in experiments. Tariq supports Sultan Lego quietly and offers guidance in strange ways to all of the Batim, always in dreams. He is a manipulator to a degree, but a good one at that. He seeks the better good through his manipulations. How to impress him? Be mentally healthy and be able to admit your faults. Show and demonstrate that you are a functioning member of society, because so few are.
So much information. Definitely going to be watching the replay.
You do know most of the stuff I'm writing down I won't be able to read next week.
Replay.
The replays are going to go on YouTube, so go check those out. If you do watch them, do hit the thumbs up. All right. Lastly, and most ominously, Zubaira the Crimson Sage. Zubaira al-Nasir, a Shoyan woman trained in hemomancy and vital energy manipulation. She is the Minister of Health and Magical Medicine. She is both healer and harmer. She is an imposing woman, and she governs Fluidant's health and magical healing practices, ensuring both mundane and arcane medicine are accessible to the people. Her mastery of hemomancy allows her to heal wounds, extract diseases, and even manipulate the life force of those under her care. Born into a family of nomadic healers from Shao, she displayed a profound connection to the magic of life and blood. She was hunted by the Josozai from a young age. During a deadly plague that swept through her village in Shu, she discovered her ability to draw illness out of the afflicted and cure them. Her gifts brought her to the Batim, where she honed her skills, eventually revolutionizing Fluidant's medical practices by blending hemomancy with traditional healing arts. Zubaira views Sultan Lego as a guardian of the people, a role that she deeply respects. She frequently advises him on public health matters, and her protective nature of the Sultan drives her to ensure his well-being. She sees the Sultan as a vital part of Fluidant's balance and would fight or die for his well-being to protect him from harm. One of the most terrifying mages I have ever seen. As a healer and harmer,
real quick.
she has the ability to draw diseases from one person and implant them in another. Yes, ma'am. Real quick.
Did you say Ashelian?
No, from Shu. From Shao.
Shu. Okay, that's not what I heard, so that's why I'm asking.
No, she is not from the Fey realm. She's from the material plane. All of these people are from the material plane. There's no Fey people or any of those trixies over here. That you know of. Right.
Do you know of if any of these have had dealings with the Fey realm?
Not that I'm aware of. However, I have. As the pages all get turned.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have
Glad I
had
bought it.
some
Nope.
dealing. And I must admit that my interest in you largely stems from the fact that Shadar Kai are not common in Shadar Shaddai. Your presence is a concern of mine.
Also,
The Shadar Shaddai come from the Fey realms, originally from the Shantara Grove, a place of shadow and darkness. Do you hearken from that place?
the place I hearkened from was not a place of shadow.
A refugee. Interesting. And a Shadar Kai noble-born, if I'm not mistaken.
She sits a little taller.
Intriguing. Would it fascinate you to know that the Batim recently had dealings with others of your species?
Also,
Well, I will give you a taste of information as I have given you much, a veritable buffet, and have not received anything in return. I will simply say at this point that I want to provide more knowledge about private matters. But I have had dealings with Shadar Kai here within Shatter Shaddai within the past 3 months, which coincides uniquely with the beginning of your voyage. Thus, I believe that our events are connected, and I wish to know what your true interest in Shatter Shaddai is before I allow you to leave my home.
you being of mystic prowess in the arts should be well aware that there are bleedovers between the planes. Are you not?
He's going to nod.
Some activities have had significant impacts on the material plane, especially here recently, that are not of natural occurrences.
He will nod.
Our primary interests here in the material planes, besides enabling the ambassador here, is to gain allies and associates, friends, acquaintances, however you may term, in order to assist in preventing further bleed over between the planes.
Truly. Interesting. Do you mind if we engage in a ritual of friendship? And he will gesture, and for Glittergrum is going to come waddling in.
Much needs to transpire before we can enter into said occurrences.
I don't believe it is. I simply wish to have Borglittergrum here handle a spell and tell whether we are telling the truth to each other or lying. It is known as a zone of truth. But Borglittergrum will tell us to openly whether we are telling the truth or lying.
As long as it applies equally across.
Of course. Borglittergrum, eat this, and he's going to provide a scroll to Borglittergrum, who will begin to glow. You guys can choose to accept this or not. I will tell you that Rafaj is going to not resist the zone of truth. Islarn submits.
Covet will submit.
So
Covet will
fine.
submit.
So will I.
Okay.
So will Boinkle.
Okay. Eowyn, will you try to resist the zone of truth? Eowyn's microphone is not working yet.
Did you ask me a question?
Yes. Would you like to submit to the zone of truth?
Yeah, the microphone, my service has been cutting in and out all day.
Okay. So, As the zone of truth washes over you, Baruru or Glittergrum will smile. Right. True. All of you tell true. Rafaj looks at you guys. Would you like to ask the first question, or should I?
I would.
He smiles and gestures.
What is your interest with the Shadow Kai of the Fey Realms?
I view them as a threat to the stability of Shadow Shaddai due to things that have happened in the past. There are concerns. Your presence here, though independent and potentially calming, could signal others and the arrival of doom upon our city. So I am concerned. Boss tells truth. Rafaj looks at you. My turn. When you came to Shadow Shaddai, were you seeking anything other than political influence to gain what you were searching for?
I also sought out the temple. I also sought out merchants. But the primary purpose, was to support my friend Islarin here, and our ultimate goal, as I'd already described.
Or Glittergrub sniffs. Long hair boy, say true. How? Oh, it's your turn for a question.
What Shadow Kai was it that you've interacted with in these past 3 months?
He looks at you guys and pauses for a moment. I do not wish to say, because it may compromise the security of Shadow Shaddai. Revealing the identity of this person could cause a world of hurt. And I do not yet trust you fully, in spite of having allowed you into my home and risking my own life. The security of Shadow Shaddai is more important than any one man. So I will not lie to you, but I will say that the woman is a terror. My question for you. For Glittergrub, boss speaks truth.
Boss didn't speak anything.
He goes to ask another question. Do you know how to stop the planar shifts that you are seeking to close?
We have been informed that we are to gather shards of a staff. We've also been notified that some of these holes, rifts, portals, however you may call them, must be closed on the far side.
Handsome man say true. Rafaj looks at you. I did not need Borglittergrum to tell me that this was true, for I know where one of the shards that you seek is. The shard exists within the possession of Sultan Lego at this time, in the treasury, safe and secure, due to the actions of the former Shadarkai that came, who sought to collect it. We managed to fight her off. The fact that you have spoken truly and do wish to close these portals is a relief to me. Thank you for your honesty.
They cause a disbalance that does not need to be in this world or ours.
We agree and are of an accord, at least on this point. Boss, speak truth. Pretty lady, speak truth. Well, we have but 1 more minute before the spell fades. Do you have another question for me that I may answer quickly?
What do you know of Shantara Grove?
He smiles. Far too much to be released within 1 minute. But that the Shantara Grove once was a place of beauty, wealth, and ingenuity. Much of what Shatter Shaddai has become is due to relics that have been brought here and reverse engineered. Shatter Shaddai once was less technologically advanced, but due to the refugees who brought trinkets from the Shantara Grove, we are where we are today, as we have developed upon them, grown and expanded beyond the expectations of the Shantara Grove. Now Shantara lies as a horror, a desperate warning to those who would dabble in dark arts with those who are less trustworthy, those who are willing to sacrifice their own morality in exchange for power. It serves as a cautionary tale to anyone in leadership.
I am the heir of the original Shantara Grove, and by closing these portals, by purging the darkness, I seek to restore Shantara Grove to its former glory.
Rafaj looks at you, and you can tell he's concerned. So you are the heir of Night's Call.
He is my father.
So your name is Twilight's Call, son of Night's Call, son of Midnight's Call.
It is.
This all began with your grandfather. Shame. The Shantara Grove was said to be a delight. I would have loved to have seen it. You, Sarah, carry yourself in contrast to the rumors and speculation, the stories of who your grandfather and father were. You carry yourself with bearing and dignity. I would even say honor. You have been polite in my presence, and I have no reason to disbelieve you or your goals. Thus, If I can help you within Shatter Shaddai, you may consider me an ally, if not a friend.
Twilight will give a slight nod.
However, I seek the safety of my city. I will do anything to protect the people of Shatter Shaddai. And if that means that you must die, then so be it. Am I understood?
We have spoken truth, and with that should come the understanding that we are not at odds.
He nods. And to your very good health, sir. And to your lady. Hopefully, future Empress of Shantara Grove.
A heavy title with a heavy responsibility.
Indeed. Do you truly fathom the depths that restoration of the Shantara Grove would have?
Which requires the most unusual of allies.
Oh, indeed. But have you considered the consequences to the current political structure of the Fey Realms? Queen Titania of the Fey rules, and rules without rival. Should Shantara rise, be cautious not to earn her ire.
It is wise not to do so, for I grew up in her court.
Truly. The bearing is evident, as your manners are impeccable. Unlike that of your antlered friend.
Unlikeliest of allies.
I have been gifted with a rare story today. In one day, I have met people from other planes, dealt with princesses of nearby isles, ambassadors from the Protectorate, and shared a room and snacks with a Minotaur of Corlin. Strange day indeed. But I sense or predict, without much talent, that your presence forebodes future, even stranger days. He smiles grimly, which could be fun.
So about this other Shatter Kai?
I will allow Sultan Lego to determine whether he will discuss this with you, for he has sworn us to not speak her name. And I will not break my oath to the Sultan. You must understand, I am truly loyal, no matter how much of a fool I sometimes think he is.
Your loyalty is commendable.
If you cannot speak her name, is there any description you can provide that would not break your oath? Or is there any action that we should seek out?
I will not answer those questions. I cannot guide
That's
you.
fair.
You must speak to the Sultan. But to do so, you must gain the approval of the rest of the team. Based off of your answers today, you have mine. And he will hand you guys a small ring. It's a signet ring. It's not the one he uses to sign things, but it is one that shows that he has granted you approval and something to cash in when it's time to go and get access to the Sultan for a meeting.
We are honored.
Or glitter grub. Go get dinner ready. These people will need to go to the Black Pearl. After all, they are guests of honor. Yeah, boss. And more glitter grub will jump off the table and then head off.
He's cool. I like him.
You spoke of relics of Shantara Grove. You wouldn't happen to have anything that I could observe or look at?
They are protected within the technological vaults and experimentation areas. I do not have them in my possession. I'm not a collector of antiquities.
It was a small hope.
You may have to discuss that with others of the Batim who were more connected to that sort of thing.
You spoke of my father and my grandfather. What knowledge or information do you have on them?
I know their names as being associated with the Shantara Grove, but I know very little else other than they dealt with an individual known as Duldrin Shadowscar, who has recently resurrected the great dragon Vagrodan, thanks to their aid. It is because of these acts that we are dubious about your position. But due to the zone of truth, and you're submitting to it, and the truth you have spoken since then, I am willing to bend and discuss potentials for restoration of the Shantara Grove from what it has become. After all, Shantara Grove has leaked out of the island now and has begun to take over the island and continent of Utherg far to the east. They now call the place Darkfrost.
And please come play that in the playtest here in the next week.
Yep. Week from tomorrow, we're going to do the first playtest of that adventure series. Gonna be fun.
Twilight will look at his companions. We must hurry.
You will need a place to stay. And I have connections within this city. Please accept my gift of a residence while you are here at our most esteemed hotel, known as the Black Pearl. Or sorry, the Eben Pearl. It's the Eben Pearl. The Eben Pearl. Your reservations will be made before you arrive. Simply inform them that you are Rafaj's guests and arrive together, and they will provide you with accommodations. If they treat you badly, let me know, and they will be flogged.
Understood.
A pleasure having you here. And he's going to stand up, indicating it's time for you guys to go.
We'll stand up and
Cabot
give him a bow.
Cabot will look at him and nod and say, this is from an ally, if not a friend. And she hands him the box of non-sticky fudge.
He looks at it. Someone has done research. Thank you.
She smiles and nods.
And before we leave, Miss Lauren will turn to him and say, the principal danger we faced along the ancient wastes was the forces of Bagradan that he has begun to marshal.
He nods. It is as we feared then. Bagradan rises. I pray that he stays in the ancient wastes. It does not reach the dragon's eye.
What is the dragon's eye?
An island to the northwest of the ancient wastes. There he would form a lair where his once was. We have warded it long ago against his presence, but should he find a way to break those wards, he would become entrenched and difficult to defeat.
Well, he's been defeated once before.
Yes, but the sword that did so has been lost.
The sword?
Yes. Do you not know the legend?
Would like to hear it.
Of course. The legend of Bagradan and how he fell. How Emeria Rosie died. And I'm pulling it up right now. Long ago, there was a great gold dragon of ancient times, flying to and fro across the lands of the ancient world. He fought the forces of evil, fiends, aberrations, monsters, and men. He defeated the evildoers. So many did he defeat and claim their ill-gotten gains that his ancient mountain was said to be the wellspring of gold that flowed throughout all of Toivoa. The bottom of his lair being connected to an underground rivers and ley lines, the wealth was redistributed to even the distant continents. Known as the ever-reaching pinnacle, the legendary mountain's location has been lost to the mists of the ocean and time. Emeria Rosie himself was a creature of epic proportions, with a length of 75 feet from nose to tail and wings that spread so far as to shelter a small village from a storm of falling stars. He was glorious and enormous. Gleaming scales interlocked with each other, forming a nearly impenetrable hide. The only thing more piercing than his sharp claws were the blue of his cerulean eyes. Sadly, not everyone appreciated Emeria Rosie, and the ancient forces gathered together to form an ancient coalition to destroy him. What they forged from this was beyond comprehension. a being of shadow and void, created by the minds of councils of fiends, fae, and evil intelligences from the great beyond. They named the thing Vagrodan. Although they fought for a year and a day, eventually Amaria-Rosie was brought low, and Vagrodan was victorious. With the singular purpose of defeating the Gold Dragon completed, Vagrodan raged across Toivoa, indiscriminately destroying anything that crossed its path. Vagrodan was eventually brought low and defeated at the cost of many heroes' lives. Standing before them and dealing the final blow was Karis Rezeros. Leaping from a mountain's peak on the floating island of Skytear, Karis fell like a lightning bolt upon Vagrodan's back. His mighty sword Star Shatterer clove through the dragon's adamantine scales and pierced its core. The resultant eruption of void energy annihilated Karis and many of the heroes that were with him. But the sword remained. In its death throes, the two-headed monstrosity of a dragon crashed into the surface of Toivoa and died. The sword Star Shatterer has been lost, but there was a rumor a while back that it was said to have been recovered in an archaeological expedition. The group, supposedly of Garden Soil, found the blade, and unbeknownst to the rest of the expedition, one of the team found it and kept it for themselves. They secreted it away within the city of Garden Soil in a tomb. She hid it, and it was never seen again, as far as anyone knows. It may reside in some unlabeled tomb within Garden Soil to this day.
GM, is there a map with garden soil on
Oh,
it?
of course! We can show you guys a map. Why not? So, here we are on the map. And here's Garden Soil, way at the top of the map.
Okay. I just had a moment of panic. We're good.
All right.
That's past where my desk map shows. Wow.
So, I trust you will have a good rest at Ibn Puro. If you have any needs at all, speak to the staff. The manager is a personal friend and will do anything within reason to fulfill your needs, as long as it is possible for him to do so. Please, have a nice day, and may the rest of your travels within Shadow Shaddai be peaceful and uneventful.
Do I still have a tail? Is the tail's like here in the house with us, or is he outside?
The tail, which tail are we talking about?
The
Guard.
guard tail that I'm
the
supposed
guard.
to have?
Yeah, the guard's outside. He would not have come in. He would not be welcomed. You guys ready to depart? Or are you guys standing
am.
there awkwardly in front of Rafaj, one of the ruling council of the city?
Yeah, we thank you for your hospitality, sir.
Of course.
The moose does a deep bow and says, "Thank you."
of course. Have a nice day. And as you guys depart from Rafage's tower, that's where we're going to end for today. And, well, no, we can go ahead and go a little further. Why not? After all, you guys need to go to the Ebon Pearl, unless there's somewhere else you want to go first. All right, then we will take you to the Ebon Pearl, a magnificent and rich hotel that stands out from the rest of the city due to its white and black colorations. As you guys walk in, it's over the top. Buildings within buildings, skylights. The place is glorious. As you guys are given a room, you're escorted up, and your bedrooms look like this, with the bed directly in the center of the room. Each of you
That's amazing.
has your own. They didn't even separate Twilight and Covet. They simply have adjoining rooms.
We just have one really big closet then.
Sure. All right. Well, as you guys take the evening to think about all the information you've gathered, that's where we're going to end for today. And we'll come back next week. You have not taken a long rest, but can collect your thoughts. And we'll figure out where you guys decide to go next week. As it is always us against the gods. As always, guys, thank you so much for choosing me to be your GM. There's a ton of amazing ones out there, and I'm always thankful you choose to level up your game with GM Eric. I greatly appreciate it. If you know someone who wants to play in one of my games, send them my way. I'd love to talk to them about either getting on a wait list or joining a one-shot. I do have those 2 one-shots coming up in the next week, so check those out over at gmeric.com. Otherwise, guys, have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. We will be back this evening for a hangout and an AMA where people can just ask questions and I will answer them, and we'll do some prep stuff, etc. All right, guys, have a wonderful time, and we will catch you guys later. Take care, everybody.